Hello everybody, Corey here. I am going to go over the trades and holdings for yesterday, which was August 21st, Wednesday. Just a reminder, I'm not a qualified licensed investment or financial advisor. I just gather the data presented to you. YieldMax ETFs are extremely risky. So please make sure you do your due diligence in researching these and not just looking at a yield. Before I forget, Max had an interview with Jay yesterday. I didn't know about it during the day, but I was able to catch it last night. And there are changes coming. In fact, TSMY is a little different than the rest of the single stock ETFs, and that it can do different trades. I have it written down. I took notes, but they're at my desk. I think it said that they can do call spreads now, and then Ulti they have filed for. So TSMY is the only one that is different at this point. And then they have filed for Ulti to be different, to be able to do all kinds of options trading. So I know this is an Ulti video. However, with having changes to these other ones, I was already unqualified, right, to do all these options things. But as these options get more difficult, there's a possibility that I won't be able to cover them anymore. So we'll see, because I don't really have a lot of time to learn lots of different ways and types of options and everything else. So I don't know. We'll just play it by ear, but I just wanted to let y'all know that. But you might want to go watch. You do want to go watch this video because it is, letting you know how the future of these YieldMax ETFs are going to be, and hopefully they get a little bit better at capturing upside, along with still being able to get some of the yield down the road. It's just a start, but make sure you check out that video. All right, so yesterday, I'm not even sure why I didn't catch this, but there were some errors in the trades done yesterday. So I want to just comment here on the couple that had issues. So AMDY up here at the top, you see how there's these NAs there. I did change it, but then I changed it back. But what this is indicating is that they ended up having to reverse something that they had done on the previous day's trade. The unfortunate part when it comes to stuff like this, the dollar amounts don't match. So then I don't know which dollar amounts were the accurate dollar amounts here. So, for example, if we go back to the trades on the 20th. What happened here? I don't know what happened. For some reason, some of these are blank, so I don't have the formula in there apparently, because this thing messed up. Good thing is I have the original raw data. So we're just going to look at this one. Of course, this isn't going to have the plus and minuses there. But you see they closed them out. The problem was here they put September 20th. So when they put the September 20th, what that ended up doing, and like I said, I didn't catch it, that ended up adding an extra line. And you see how this one's negative and this one's positive for these puts. Well, even right or wrong, right? Even though it didn't exist here, for them to even be able to close out of these positions, the custodian still will put them on here, regardless if they're right or wrong. So then what they had to do for yesterday's trades, the 21st, they had to do one to back out the erroneous one, and then do one to, make it correct, right? So they changed it from here to here. Well, when they're doing all this stuff, these dollar amounts are changing. So I don't know which ones are the right dollar amounts when we're, doing our stuff. So this is another reason why our numbers can be off. So if we're looking here, of course I threw these formulas in here, which I guess we could have just looked here. But 1555 and 385. And now here we have 19 and 570. So which ones are the accurate ones? I would, I guess, lean it towards the first day's data, assuming that they're just using the numbers at the end of the day. Let's see. Yes, even these, even if you were trying to match, like these don't even match. They're similar, if I remember correctly, looking at these last night, but they're not exactly the same. So it's not like those wash out and then the other ones would take effect if I added all these together, because they're not still, again, not exactly the same. So anyway, so this is an issue that we run into sometimes, and I didn't catch it, so I apologize. But then on top of that, it didn't happen once, but it happened twice. But this also shows you how this can make numbers off, because we don't know which ones are the accurate numbers. So anyway, so that happened with AMDY, and the same thing happened with PayPal down here. I need to, I guess I didn't copy and paste values on my trades. Anyway, so same thing happened on PayPal. They put September 20th versus August 18th, so they're having to back that out. So we can see that over here. So here they had $5.35 and 92 cents. Here we have $5.25 and 70 cents, and then of course the 6 and $1 something. And then just to show on yesterday's holdings where you can see it, well, it would have to be the day before's holdings, right? Because the end of day, and I say yesterday, sorry, but because I'm doing this in the morning, it's habit, but the end of that day's holdings has those two. If you look at the day before that, you can see that they didn't have a synthetic for September 20th. Same thing with PayPal. There we go. Same thing with PayPal. So it didn't have one there. So just wanted to point those out. So we'll skip those. Those are just administrative adjustments, but at the same time, I don't know which amounts are the amounts we should be using for calculation purposes. So we'll just go with one of them. All right. Sorry, so I done wasted a bunch of time. So I don't think I'm going to get all 3 videos done. I was going to do them last night, but then hubby wanted to go to bed, so I decided to go to bed too. But anyway, we're going to run through this. We have ABNY. So tomorrow is Friday. So most of these are going to be closing out tomorrow. But we have ABNY here. 3 short calls, 118, 120, 121. We are under the 118 by 32 cents. The majority of the we're under the other two by 2 and 3%. The majority of the contracts are sitting at the 121 strike price. We could have around 30 cent upside or whatever there. So it would be around 2% upside. But again, so here's the problem where I get into looking at the upsides on Thursday and Friday, because And that's why I didn't do the video last Friday, because then I was going to do it Friday morning. But then what was the point of sort of showing you and telling you the upside of things when they were going to be making trades that day and it was the last day? So that's why I ended up doing Friday's video that morning, which is sort of the bad thing about Thursday also, is that they're going to be making trades today and tomorrow. So, we're saying, yeah, there might be upside, but they may close these out today, right? And they won't be there tomorrow for that upside. I know that was one of the conversations of, we mentioned the other day with some questions that were asked as, well, why didn't they close something out on a certain day? Like this one, for example, they could have, there's the argument that if it goes up tomorrow, well, why didn't they close it out Thursday? And that's because they're looking at the amount of money, right? And they're just betting and hoping that it's going to go down, right, the next day. And then they might, but then the opposite comes, like they might close these out, right? Because this one today may be 5 cents to close out. And then tomorrow it does go up there to 121, and we don't get to capture the upside for that because we closed it out early. And it's just, you never know what the market's going to do, right? So it is what it is. But just know, looking at the possible upside here, trades are happening. The main, the majority of the weekly trades for getting in and out of positions and or rolling them to next week or whatever are happening Thursday and Friday. All right, so we're going to move on to AIYY. We have a 26 strike price here for a short call. And we're currently underneath that 5% with a possible upside of 46 cents if we can get there before they close these out. That is a 4.5% increase there. But as you can see here, as of close yesterday, I don't know what I did with my phone. As of close yesterday, it would only have been 5 cents to close this out. Did I say 5? I meant 8 cents. I'm sorry. So what I wanted to look at is, because I keep forgetting, but I think C3AI's earnings is September 4th post earnings. What day of the week is that? So we still have a couple of weeks. So the first week is September on a Wednesday. So maybe I can remember that. I should put little notes in here. But the bad thing is then they always change until you get closer to them. They could change. All right. Anyway, let's move on. And I did look at this one yesterday. Of course, then the market went up, and it actually went up, as you can see, 22 cents. But this one's done burned me in the past, and I just, even though it had quite a bit of upside, I did not want to get stuck in there. In fact, you look at this. I'm looking, at the numbers over here. AIYY went up 22 cents, but AI, it went up 24 cents. So it almost matched it cent-wise. So very interesting. I haven't done the daily, and I don't know that I'll have time to. And I was going to introduce that other new thing, and I wish could have done these videos last night. Anyway, so AMDY, we have two short calls, the 152.50 and the 155. We're still over both of these. So this is somewhat capped because the short calls are capped. But you can see that AMD went up 4 cents yesterday. While AMDY went up 4 cents, while AMD went up $1.40, and in fact, pre-market they were at 159. So, which then makes me want to look at something. So let me look it up real quick. AMD, is at 159 pre-market, but that, we don't know how the day's gonna play out, so we will see. Of course, pre-market AMD wise, 1470. But looking at the bid and ask, it's between 1484 and 1487. All right. I will say that I took the opportunity to get out of some AMD this week. Only, I think, about 2 of my lots, because I didn't want to trigger a wash sale thing, but I had some that I had bought under the 14 something dollar amount. So I got out a couple of my 25 shared lots. All right. We have AMZ 182.50 strike price. We're underneath that 1%, which is a little over a couple of dollars. Possible upside if we can get up to the closer to the 182.50 without going over. 26 cents at about 1.3% upside there. Apple, we have 227.50 and 230. So we're almost at the 227.50. So it's about a fourth or fifth of the shares. So I don't know, we might be able to see about 20-cent upside here for Apple. Could possibly get over $18. Of course, it looks like Apple itself went down a few cents yesterday. So we'll see how today goes. BABO. We have 3 short calls, so we have 2 that expire tomorrow, 81 and 83 strike prices. Of course, we're over both of those. Then we have a strike price of 87 for next week. I'll be surprised if the BABO gets up to that strike price, only because I've been watching Alibaba for months, and if it does anything all these months it's been doing, it'll end up going back down. So I only had 15 shares of this, and I actually ended up selling them yesterday, even though it wasn't that much to even worry about if the stock did go down. But, it's no big deal. Actually, I had BABX also, but I think I actually sold that earlier on, because this was at $84 something this week, or last week. Anyway, sorry. So the majority of the contracts are the 81 strike price, and again, we're over that $2.50. So no possible upside for the short calls themselves, but still could go up a little bit for the synthetic. Coney, we have 3 synthetic positions, which means they're not going to all show on the daily when I look at that, because I only have enough for 2. I don't think we've ever had a 3. If we did, it was very short-lived. But, and then I'm realizing I didn't go over the actual trades. Let's see. So AMD, so BABO here, sorry. They added 70 contracts to the synthetic and the short call, where people are buying in. And then we're on Coney. So it looks like they closed out, this is why I didn't realize this, they closed out 15,000 of the contracts at the 210 strike price, expiring September 20th, and they moved those to the October 18th expiration with the 195 strike price. These trades ended up costing them $24 million for Coney. So apologize there. So 212, and I could have seen those if I'd have done this. To help visualize it, you can see where they closed those out, left 13,000. I just didn't realize these were the trades, or else, I would have seen them all right here. 212.50 and 215 strike prices were underneath those 3 and 4%. I don't understand why Coney's not being able to get back up there. Bitcoin itself has been up in the 60, it was almost up to 61,000 yesterday. I don't know where it's at this morning. I think it's still up, because MicroStrategy, so yeah, it's around 61,000. MicroStrategy was actually up this morning to about 140-ish, 141, 142 last time I saw it. It's probably going down now, because it looks like Bitcoin's going down. But, It's having a rough time here. I didn't say about how many cents upside. It looks like our shares are about split, so I'm going to say about 25-cent upside possible for the short calls. Of course, if we can get up that much with our synthetics that we have, it's possible we could get over $17, back up to at least $17. Then we have Dizzo with the 91 strike price. We're only underneath that, 28 cents. So possible upside for the short call, about 5 cents for Dizzo. Phoebe, 540 strike price, August 23rd tomorrow. 540, we're underneath that 1%, which is almost $5. Upside of about 17 cents for the short call. GDXY here. Ooh, Snowflake really got down. I just had an order hit. We're under 121. All right. GDXY, $39 strike price. We're above this 77 cents or 2%. So no upside for the short call here. GUI, we have the 165 strike price. We're over this by 85 cents or 1%. So no upside for the short call. JPMO, 215 strike price. We're underneath that 40 cents. This is also where the majority of the contracts are. Then we have a 217.50 strike price, and we're underneath that one 1%. Possible upside for the short call is about 3 cents here. Then we have Murney. So that reminds me, I meant to say, I knew there was something else I needed to say at the beginning of this video. If you're here, and if I forget by the time we get to YMAX at the bottom, I have some news to share with you. Which if I didn't known about Max's interview and had the holdings that were going to come out yesterday, or to ask this question to Jay, I guess I still could. I just don't like to bother him. And actually, I don't know that he would know the answer, since his office is the one handling that part, the fund of funds. But anyway, he'd get the answer for me. But anyway, Murney, 86 strike price. We're underneath that, or we're over that 1% or 65 cents. This is also where the majority of the contracts are. So we also have the 90 strike and the 93 strike. We're above those, or underneath those, 4 and 7%. Of course, all these expire tomorrow. There's a possibility they could close some out today, like the 93, especially if it keeps going down. But I don't know how the market's going to do today. In fact, let me look at. So we know Bitcoin is around 61,000 in the futures, where the futures is up. So yeah, I don't know, but right now looking at this, I don't see any upside for the short calls themselves. Just because as we get above the 86, that one is going to cancel out the others. And I only say that because the majority of the contracts are at the 86, and those other ones are so far away. But anyway, the synthetic, though, should go up in value, to help give it a little push up. Yesterday, though, just to mention, Murney went up 5 cents yesterday, while Moderna closed down about 29 cents. MSFO, $425 strike price. We're underneath that. It looks like about 86 cents, about 4-cent upside for the short call. Misty. We have, this is different, because it doesn't have as much treasury as the others, which then makes me question why. Hold on, we don't show any trades here. Did I miss some other trades? I'm sorry, I've gotten so used to not having so many. No, but we have a lot of money just sitting there. $450 million. Of course, as of right now, they're going to have to pay $17 million to close these things out if MicroStrategy doesn't go back down, because our majority of the contracts are at the 138 strike price. But Bitcoin's been trying to go up all week, and for the first time yesterday, it's actually stayed up around the 61,000 versus dropping back down to 58,000 because it's been in that range. But pre-market, we're still at 141 strike price. So that means in this case we're above all of these strike prices by 2 or 1% because our strike prices are 138, 138.50, and 140 for our short calls. So no upside there for the short calls themselves. But we are above that synthetic now, so that's good. So you can see it's up now, being worth 65 cents a share. Nefli, so you can see here all of these are new, so let's check this out real quick. Nefli, so they closed out of the 660 strike price, moved that to 695, same expiration date. They closed the short call, it was going to expire tomorrow, 675, and moved it to the 720 for next week. So overall, our trades, they brought in $983,000 for the trades for Nefli. So you can see our new 720 strike price for next week. We're underneath that 3% and a possible upside here for Nefli of about 54 cents a share. So that's good, assuming that, we can keep going up. But if I remember correctly, Nefli has been capped most of the week, and I say that because I know that I've sold some of my Nefli shares near the beginning of the week because there was no upside for them. NVIDIA. Do we have trades today? No, I think these happened yesterday. I think PayPay was the next one, but we don't need to go over that because those were errors. So then the next one was Squee. Oh, I'm going to run out of time. NVIDIA, 124 and 130 strike price for next week. Of course, we're over the 124 by 4% or $4.50. That is where 25% of the contracts are. So the 130, we're underneath that $1.50 or 1%, or at least we were this morning. I could have sworn, this morning we were at 130. So, I don't know. Let me look real quick. Oh, my portfolio has gone red. So let's look at the futures. They're still green, maybe because Bitcoin just pulled my MicroStrategy down. But NVIDIA, the last I looked here, or last I saw it when I was looking, it was at 130 already. It's at 129.86 right now. So by the time the market's open and you see this video, by the time you see this video, the markets will be open, and we may already be maxed out on NVIDIA at that point. But this one does have some upside to it with that 130 strike because, 3/4 of our contracts are there. Even though if you look over here on the possible upside, it's those market values, right? But that should adjust. Of course, one of the reasons here for this big, market value adjustments and stuff is because these don't expire till next week. If they expired tomorrow, it would be a different story and they would be more in line with, about where they would be closing at. But because there's a whole week out there, right, the market values can significantly shift one way or the other. All right, so OARC, we have a short call, the $45 strike price. Of course, we're above that 1% or 61 cents, so no upside for the short call. PayPay, we already talked about those trades. That's where they fixed their issues. Hold on, that just made me think of something. Sorry. Okay, no, it was something else I was looking at. Oh, it was that synthetic. Okay, that made me a little nauseous. Hopefully it did not you. Okay, so PayPay, we have a $70 strike price. We're over that 2%, so no upside for the short call here for PayPay. Then we have Snowy, 138 strike price. We're underneath that 2%. However, it's going to be a lot less when the market opens because they had bad earnings. And like I said, they just hit one of my things a while ago at 120. So let's look. You know, we're back up to 120.60 right now, but this is going to take a huge hit when the market opens. If you, depending, right? And I say that because my Fidelity account, if I go look at that right now, it's going to show me yesterday's close crap. It doesn't show me the current pre or post-market stuff. So I only get to see the 4 o'clock close price from the day before or that day of whatever. This morning it would be the day before. So that's what I mean by when the market opens. Of course, in Moomoo, which is what I use mostly, I use between that and Fidelity, but I like Moomoo because, it's going to show me the prices that the market actually is at that moment for my account, not the 4 o'clock of yesterday. Sorry. But I really can't stand Fidelity. It makes me so mad. Their app sucks. Anyway, moving on. This one's going to be way, way, way down. So upside, is going to be way off the charts. Of course, they're probably going to close these out today because they'll probably be really, really cheap. And then they're going to lower it. And then if it does go up, then we're not going to, get that upside this next week. But just to give you an idea, Snowy this morning, the bid-ask spread is 1840 to 1842, so about 1841. So it's $1 down from what it showed here yesterday. So if we were looking at this 41-cent upside and that being $1 down, so you're looking at $1.40. But that would be by tomorrow, and if they're going to close these out today, it's not going to matter. But still possibility of getting, that a little bit cheaper if you have been waiting to buy in on those. Of course, I'm going to buy more. I just, of course, eventually I'll probably regret it or something and wish that I hadn't, but whatever. We'll see how it goes. All right. Of course, I've been buying into Snow since a couple of quarters ago when they dropped due to earnings, and then all they've done is dropped since then. So I'm not sure why I keep going there. Okay, let's look at Squee. So they closed out the short call that was going to expire tomorrow with a 68 strike price, and moved that to next week with a 68 strike price. All right, so we have a $67 strike price that still expires tomorrow. We're underneath that 2%. That's the majority of the contracts. A little less than 2/3 there. Then we have the 68 strike price for next week, which we're under 3%. Possible upside there for that short call, that 67. It is the majority, so I'm going to say about 23-cent upside for the short call. Then we have TSMY here. We have 225 and 227.50. We're below those 1% and 2%. So let's look at the other one. We're looking at about majority of the contracts are the 227.50. Possible upside of about 25 cents there for the short call. TSMY, in case you missed it earlier, I think this one is going to have the call spreads on it. The reason it doesn't have the TSMY stock prices over there because it's new, and Google has issues when we have new ETFs there. But right now, this is showing as normal because he said on the interview yesterday with Max, if you haven't watched it, go watch it, that they just started it out normal. But yeah, these may get to the point where I won't be able to cover them because we get it more into lots of different types of options and strategies and stuff that I don't understand. But I don't know. I guess we'll see when we get there. That might be the end of the channel or the end of me covering these funds like this, but we will see. Right now, TSMY is the first different one. But if they, they're going to, once they have filed for Alti, if they can get that one through, then they'll possibly look at changing the rest of these. At least that's the idea. But we have two short calls that expire next week with the 177.50 and the 180 strike price. We are underneath those 3 and 5%. Zomo, we have short call for next week. This one had trades, didn't it? It did. And actually the other one did too, didn't it? Sorry. Need to get back in the habit of doing this. So TSMY, they added 30 contracts to the synthetic. Maybe I didn't. Did I not change this first column? Nope, it was a brand new synthetic. Okay. Let me check. It was not, because there was 30 and it added. It's not even there. I might have changed that formula after the fact. But anyway, that they added to that synthetic and that short call there for TSMY. For Zomo here, they closed out the 121 strike price. You can see for 3 cents over there. That was going to expire tomorrow, and they did a short call for next week with a 117 strike price, which is crazy. Yeah, they'll probably cap out at the beginning, near the beginning or middle of the week. But whatever. So Zomo 117 strike price expire next week. They're underneath at 3%. Possible upside for the short calls of about 45 cents there. And then we had Crash here. So they added 15 contracts to the synthetic, short put, and long call. So, yeah, and that's not there either. Oh, you know what? I had to recopy over, I know for sure, these at the bottom. And I probably didn't add the trade data there. So for the Crash, we have two short puts, the 210 that expires this week and the 212.50 that expires next week. We are over both of these 5 and 6%. Of course, if we could get down lower, close to these, but not under these, then the stock price would go up more. And then we have dips here with our short put of 119. We're currently over that 8%. Fiat, we have a 190 straight price, and we're over that by 9%. Way over all of those. And then we have our YQQQ for next week. Short put 466, and we're over that by 4%. And then if we go to YBet, we have the short call $20 strike price. We're only over at 3 cents, but no upside there for the short call. And then to get down here, I don't have a lot of time left, but I almost forgot. YMAX has done its first, sorry, I got to open all these things back up. Tax loss harvesting. I checked, it wasn't there the day before. So Murney here, if you look here, there's no Murney anymore. So they have sold the Murney ETF, and of course we don't have the actual trades here for this. And then they ended up doing a covered call here, so that way it's still in the portfolio. Most of you that were around when it came out probably remember that they talked about being able to do that. And he was mentioned in interviews, that they wouldn't just close it and do the tax loss harvesting and still not be in it, so that they would do it, synthetically, with that synthetic and the short call there. And that's what they've done, and you can see that here. So we have a short call for next week with a $90 strike price, and we have our synthetic here at an $85 strike price. Sorry, I guess I can put formulas in here now. I didn't need them there before, but I just wanted to mention that. But I do have to go because I have to go to work. I know it's really quick, but I probably wouldn't have noticed if it hadn't have not loaded. It didn't load because I didn't have enough lines, and I didn't know why I didn't have enough, and it was because they sold one and got three. So we had 2 extra lines, so I had to insert lines in order for the data to populate here. So anyway, I will talk with y'all later. Bye.